Hi everybody, I'm Janae and welcome back here to my channel. So today I want to talk specifically about connecting with our light as we move into 2022. And I'm talking about your personal light, that spark that exists within you, even if you've forgotten that it's there. I feel like now is a really great time of year to start to give ourselves permission to connect again with that inner spark, and to remember what it feels like, and to remember what it's also not, so that we can know what it is when we experience it. Now, today just happens to be December 25th of 2021. So for many people right now across the globe, they may be celebrating Christmas and the birth of Jesus. You may happen to be of a different religious background, and you might be celebrating another holiday during this time of year. But regardless of your particular religious beliefs, this time of year is a time when we allow ourselves to come together again. We allow ourselves to remember the good in people. We allow ourselves to remember the good within ourselves. And I want to encourage us to take that into the year 2022 as we move forward. If you get on here on YouTube and you start exploring and you want to check out and see what other people have to say about what life is going to be like for us moving forward, you will find a plethora of YouTubers out there who will tell you everything about what they think is going to happen moving forward. But there's a very important aspect that is often forgotten, and that is that we have our own free will to create the world that we want to be moving into. So no matter what other people think our worlds are going to look like moving forward, we get to have a say. But we need to make that choice. And part of that is connecting with that inner spark and that light within us. Because as we connect with that, more and more we're able to shine that into the world that we live in. It's not just a saying, that as we change ourselves, that we also change the world. And we do that because as we are changing things within ourselves and we're allowing more of our own light to shine out, that then starts to shine out to the world, and the world that we experience looks very different. And that is a very powerful concept to tune into, because we're not helpless victims here. We're actually powerful creators. We're part of Source. So whether you call that Source the universe, higher power, God, Allah, whatever name you attribute to it, we are parts of that. And so with that being the case, we actually have some things that we can do to make the world better, and we start right here and right now within ourselves. And so in that movie, when I was watching the movie Mary Magdalene on Netflix not too long ago, there was a quote that she said that I really felt inspired to share with you. And again, this is not about any particular religious beliefs, because that's not the point. We can get bogged down with all of that if we choose to. That's not the direction that I'm choosing to take here. But I do want to share with you her quote. As here she is, she has just experienced meeting Jesus upon his resurrection. And she was so excited by this and so happy to share this with the disciples. And she goes back to them and she's letting them know he's alive. He's well. And they're telling her, no, this can't be possible. And then she starts talking specifically with Peter. And she says to Peter, she's like, the kingdom is here within us, is what she says. All we have to do is let go of our anguish and resentment, and we become like children. And she's saying that the kingdom is right now. It exists right now within us. That light, that spark that we carry within us right now is already here. And we get to it by letting go of that anguish and that resentment that we have learned to experience and to carry with us into adulthood. And when we do those, when we let go of that anguish and resentment, we're able to return to that childlike innocence and wonder and that light that you can so easily see coming from children. We still have that. That didn't disappear. It just got bogged down with other things in the world. It got bogged down with messages that we've received over time. Those messages could be telling us, okay, we're not good enough. We have to be super responsible adults, and we have to be serious all the time, and we're not allowed to play. Christmas Day is a day that many adults will give themselves permission to play and to be in wonder and to think about all these magical things that they don't think about the rest of the year. This morning, as I was getting prepared and stuff for the day, I came out and during the sunlight, the sunrise hours, and everything around me felt like a different space, a whole different world, because there was this beautiful pink hue over everything. And I just allowed myself to just be in that for a moment, to be in that space that felt like such a different world with so much magic and possibility to it. When I was a child, being in that different world was very easy for me for a period of time. As I remember being able to play, I had extremely active imagination. And it didn't take very much for me to play and to, just take the everyday items that were around me and turn them into magical creations. They didn't look like magical creations to other people, but in my mind they were. And so I had a lot of fun with that. And then, just like you probably experienced, I started to get the message to become more responsible, to become more serious, to take on more adult roles and stuff. And then that natural creativity and play started to just become less and less. It started to diminish over time. And the thing is that that's still there. That aspect of me hasn't just disappeared, just like that aspect of you hasn't just disappeared. It is still there, And so it's time to learn how to connect with that as we're moving into 2022. We've been through a lot these past couple of years, with all the global issues going on, and we can now take over the reins again and say that we're going to connect with our own light. So I want to share with you for a moment what the light is and what it isn't. That light and that spark within us, when it's active, when it's actually shining brightly outward to the world and stuff, it doesn't do things like divide. It's not divisive. It's not shaming. It's not shaming of oneself or of other people. It's not going to give into a blaming mentality of, well, we're in this situation because you did this and this person did this. And it doesn't sit there and point fingers at other people, right? It doesn't judge. It doesn't criticize, again, oneself or others. It doesn't do harm. It doesn't wish harm. I have seen posts of people wishing harm onto other people for having different beliefs or having different stances that they feel are important for them. And when we're connected to that light within us, we don't wish harm upon anybody else. In fact, when we're connected to that light, we seek out the light in others. We try to find what is good within them and see that. We don't see race and socioeconomic status and gender and all those things. All we see is the other beautiful light being that is before us. All those other categories fall away. And that is something that nobody else can tell us that we can and can't do as we move into 2022. We can choose to connect with that light and allow ourselves to seek out the light in other people, and nobody else can stop us from that. There's not a news channel out there, a media outlet, whatever, that can stop us from doing that and allowing ourselves to shine our light into this world and creating this as the world that we want it to be. So as we move forward into 2022, may we allow ourselves to release our own personal anguish and resentment and judgments, criticisms, and anything that is in any way suppressing our personal light. And may we once again connect with that childlike innocence and sense of wonder and creativity that we were naturally born into this world with. And when we do that, I feel that we will find ourselves living in a whole new world. So on that note, may you take care of yourselves, during this holiday season and in all the seasons to come. And may you carry your light into 2022 so that we can all create a world that is inclusive, that's loving, that's compassionate, and that's supportive as we move into this whole new time. All right, so you take care of yourselves, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.